My guest today is Dee Peterson. Dee, how are you today?
I am good, David. How are you?
I am excellent. It's good to see you. I see you're wearing the shirt that you and I got at the event a couple of weeks ago.
It's been my easy pullover, whatever t-shirt I have underneath for my meetings.
I should have worn my colors today. Tell me, now, so you work for Microsoft. What do you do for Microsoft?
I'm a customer success account manager, managing the banking vertical.
Okay. What kind of things are banks interested in these days from Microsoft?
Banks are really looking to uncover a lot out of their enterprise solutions that they subscribe, specifically Copilot.
Okay. Copilot. Well, Copilot is a lot of things. It's a lot of agents. It's sort of a brand name across multiple agents that Microsoft produces. Is there a particular Copilot you're talking about?
Yes, so yeah, there is a gamut, and we change the naming conventions very frequently. But we're
Yeah,
looking at
so we do.
M365 Copilot.
You know, the reason we changed names is to sell more T-shirts.
I like that.
M365 Copilot. So that's M365. Those are things like Excel and Word and Outlook and Teams and I think OneDrive might fall in there. Those are the things. So, well, let's start with the definition. What does M365 Copilot do for you?
If you want to understand it from, not having a lot of context of what this AI solution can do, it's what ChatGPT is. It's our M365 Copilot, and it is there, and it's accessing your data, and it's also accessing web data. So it is there as your researcher, but depending on the use case or the prompting, the design of your prompts, you can get very significant and valuable output.
All right. So the prompts are just this is sort of like a chat bot that you can interact with through a natural language like English.
Correct. We do have also a Copilot chat, which is not necessarily tied to the web or the internal company data, if that is how the company chooses to activate those accounts. But for my specific use case and success behind it, the customer did use M365 Copilot with the activation of company data and web data within the access to their employees.
Oh, so are you thinking of a specific company then? It's that had success using M365 Copilot. Yes.
Yes,
Oh,
I
tell
I
me, tell me about it.
cover a bank in the Midwest. They have a 10,000 workforce, and they have made great strides in adoption. They started with a pilot program about a year ago, and now they activated over 1,000 licenses. And they are at like 97% adoption already. And a lot of it is through just these great programs that set them in place to identify the right use cases for them and be able to take advantage of that immersion training and skilling.
Well, this is great. So this is a success story. They obviously they must have liked it if they've got 97% adoption. What are they using it for? Why is it so successful for them?
They use it within their call center, their customer care, taking in the calls. They use it in their finance teams, in their IT teams, really across a lot of different sections of their organization. They've initially had restrictions and blockers because of security concerns. And I think once we stepped in and addressed those concerns um, and provided the right controls, the right security controls, they were able to lift off security concerns and restrictions and then really like activate and kickstart that rollout. And since then, tremendous feedback. My customer says Copilot is a game changer. we love it. One of the SVPs that I talked to earlier this week says, Copilot is my new best friend. So just that level of confidence that the tool is going to give them what they want, that it's going to give them impactful information, that it's going to save them really hours, potentially days, working on a long project where they can, they can summarize, they can prepare, they can just automate processes for operational efficiency.
Can you give me a specific example of how they've used M365 Copilot to make their operations more efficient?
An example could be like, let's say the finance team needs to look at several different sources of information, and they need to create a dashboard. And it takes them, let's say, a whole day, possibly, 1, 2, 3 days. With Copilot and the right, set of prompts, you can say, gather my data and identify your data. And it could be various files. Out of that data, pull out the relevant information and, break out, display, generate a dashboard that is going to highlight, trends, that is going to highlight forecasting, that is going to highlight volume, let's say. So it's one of the first teams at my customers that really embraced Copilot, the finance team. From that point on, it just that wave, that excitement, the success within that team and the organization really just it's spun off this widespread interest, wanting to use it and actually using it.
So everybody saw this team having great success with it, and they're like, I want a piece of that. I want to get in on this action.
Yeah.
Nothing like a success story to catch fire.
Yeah. And what is the best way to get benefit of something, whatever tool it is? It's to really know what it does for you and to really skill up and immerse yourself, right? You're learning, you're learning a new product, you're learning a new set of capabilities. So we want to make sure that the capabilities that the customer knows, that we can immerse them in programs that are going to really benefit them.
And you help with that, right? How did they get upskilled?
So our journey, like I said, started with their pilot program. And as we move forward and help them with their approval through their AI council of the tool, we wanted to put them in a room with their peers. So it's a program that we have. We call it AI Experience Accelerator. It really is what it says in the program. It accelerates your experience, and it was so interactive and immersive. The customer got to talk to peers from other banking organizations. The customer was able to identify use cases of what they could be using it for, as well as like look at the timeline of importance for them. Is it a short term, medium term, long term? A focus for them, and out of that, the customer came away empowered. And this was last year around October. Everything just moved really fast. The customer reaches out and says, I want to do a promptathon, Dee. Like
what's a promptathon?
So a promptathon, it's just, if you imagine a hackathon, if you art of hacking, so this is art of the prompting. How do you get the best value out of this tool for you, M365 Copilot? You put in a prompt. What does that prompt give you? It's going to give you an output. What if you perfected, your prompt? What if it was a 3-step prompt, 3 questions in one ask, right? And so we had a on-site session where we came in with our CSAs, our subject matter experts, to kind of guide them with the art of the prompting. How do you prompt? How do you design your prompt? There really is a little bit of a science behind it. And then they once they got the capabilities demo, they were able to set aside and break out in hacking sort of brainstorming sessions where they created prompts, they had output generated, and they presented these results to the widespread event. And that is where that level of of output, of benefit of these tremendous dashboards, the insights that they unlocked, that they had been working with multiple teams, they displayed it like right there at that session. And, we just got kudos from everybody. It was like a very empowering event for the customer. And it was a very collaborative event for us at Microsoft. I didn't handle the whole thing. I was just a collaborator with my account executive, with my ATS, my account technology strategist. We even brought in a partner. Why did we bring in a partner? Because we thought, what if you do it on a larger scale? And we're working with not one prompt-a-thon, but multiple prompt-a-thons. We're going to have a partner help you. So the partner came in, and really immersed and helped out in this prompt-a-thon. And ultimately, yes, we did engage a partner to do it, all all at once on a larger scale, to make sure that the adoption rate was what they needed. They didn't want to scale up over 6 months. They wanted to kind of get it done in a much fast paced fashion. So that was one of the things that came out of this great program, my AI Experience Accelerator. The buzz and the level of teams that wanted to help my customer empower was just amazing. I've been able to put more programs in front of the customer. We've been able to unlock more value out of their M365 Copilot. We actually had a sort of a financial business outcome engagement out of that, and out of that engagement, we unlocked 21 million in potential value for the customer as they roll out
Wow.
and as they move into this widespread adoption. And that really is, more of a conservative number for us. Like, we actually saw something that was probably bigger, but we wanted to say, like, at the very least, like, what is the expected value? So I think as they move forward, the customer will realize that value.
So you say $21 million. Is that in cost savings because they're doing things faster and more efficiently than they did before, or are they generating
Yes,
revenue?
yes, it's a saving time. Being able to just move forward in their automation of certain business processes, and really having that level of customer service, and customer satisfaction impact, was really one of their focal interests.
You mentioned that they had some security concerns. What were some of those concerns, and how did you address them?
Their concerns were, you know, is our data protected? Can someone go in and see, go into M365 Copilot and search for the CEO's salary, for example?
Right.
They really wanted to make sure that the data that was accessible for this tool was not going to, compromise, other areas of the organization, and how, these oversharing concerns, how they could be addressed. So there are controls and configuration with our security tools and other third-party solutions. And I think once we were able to address all those blockers, right, the customer kind of gave it the thumbs up, and really accelerated the speed at which they are currently, utilizing it and getting benefit out of their Microsoft solution.
That's awesome. The financial industry, of course, is even more concerned about security than most industries are, and they should be. But they're also sometimes, my experience is they're sometimes slow to adopt technology. There's just a lot of inertia in there. But this sounds like this was that this accelerator. This went really fast. This decision to adopt this technology.
Yeah, yeah. I would say that it takes a trusted advisor role to be able to align with your customers' priorities and objectives. And I am, just one of the account team, members that interacts with the customer. But I think that having that relationship, having that dialogue, having that customer trust is, something that I would say most people in my company, in Microsoft, especially my team with this customer, understanding their struggles, looking at where they want to be, and really looking to empower them. So we had great rapport. We had really built this connection with the customer. And and I would say that if that was not in place, it definitely would have not, happened as quickly. Because I've seen other organizations that really don't want to use our tools. They want to do their in-house, chat solution. And so they'll go down that path until they realize that maybe it's not exactly what, um, they're not getting those benefits, and we're actually looking at, converting some of those experiences with other customers. But yes, I think having that trust in the product, the company, your account team, and knowing that, it's going to provide that benefit and value.
Awesome. Trust is a huge factor in any decision, especially one as big as this. Is there anything we haven't talked about that you feel is critical for our viewers to hear?
I want to, kind of highlight, a little further ahead of the path of just M365 Copilot. It's just, a, unlocking further potential with creating an agent, right? If you are familiar with M365 Copilot, you know that you can perfect your prompting, you can get great output. You could have it research, research that you did for days, you can get it in 3 minutes, let's say, because I've had some experiences like that. But even better is that, if you have a specific goal, whether it's in your own team or for the organization's team, you can create an agent. There is that level of, further optimization, further empowerment within the Copilot. You can create an agent, and there is that ability, and it will use Copilot Studio. Copilot Studio is great because, looking further ahead, now you're looking at your personal agent, your organizational agent, your business process agent, your cross agent. So my personal experience is, if I'm going to go travel to Hawaii, let's say I have a travel agent on my own. Well, what if you could do that within Copilot? You have a specific set of questions that you would ask your travel agent, let's say. And so you create that agent, you create that goal, you create the data that it's going to pull from, and then you create those questions and prompts. And it'll give you, this is where you're going. This is, the output that is relevant to your asks, and make your journey to Hawaii a great one, right? So if you translate that into business processes and process automation, it just does so much more. Unlocking that value is just phenomenal.
Yeah. So is this where your customer is going? They've experienced already kind of the out of the box experience of M365 Copilot, and now they want to scope that further by building their own custom agents that are very specific to their needs. Is that the next step
We're already
in their journey?
starting. We're
Already
already
started?
starting that
That's awesome.
journey. Yes. And one of the cool things about my job is that I can see the customer being empowered, and I can loop in my team, but I'm looking at the programs that have made this possible. And I work to recognize those programs, the teams behind it, and having that level of dialogue with my product, with my program managers, with my account team, and with the training and skilling, plans that we have. We're able to highlight this specific customer's journey in a company newsletter that is going to follow the customer's path from where they were last year, with blockers, to where they are now, and where they're looking to move with AI tomorrow. And it's just, a great thing to sort of see unfold, and have that, success story translated and amplified to other, organizational units, like the lingo here at Microsoft, other OUs, and in other verticals. So having that visibility, looking at creating this success and make it repeatable across our customers, and unlocking that benefit is just what motivates me to get up in the morning and turn on my pull up my laptop and plug away at these great AI Copilot projects.
Well, that is awesome. This is a great success story. And Dee, I really appreciate you taking the time to share it with us. Thank you.
Thank you, David. I am passionate about technology, and I am passionate about connections, networking, creating friendships that are new and exciting, and especially if they highlight technology in it. So looking forward to 2025 and jumpstarting my technology network.